Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, hey, today's Friday, and it's time for the update. And boy, do I have a special update for you. It's a lot of good things. You know, earlier this month, I caught a couple big 10-pound bass. I did some night fishing. I did some heavy pitching and flipping. In both cases, I caught really big fish. But this week's another whole deal, so I got to tell you about that. Okay, first of all, I went fishing this week with Gerry Brousseau. He's my tournament partner that you've seen me fish with on Lake Okeechobee. And we went up to Lake June and up Lake Placid, and we decided to do some more night fishing. Now, this night fishing thing, I haven't really figured it all out yet. You know, I've been taking buzz baits like this, and I've been taking spinner baits like this one. This is one of the ones that Barry Maynor sent me from Decatur, Alabama, and he's been catching some even 10, even 11-pound bass out of the Tennessee River on a big black buzzbait at night. So that's a big player. I've taken this double buzz that I caught the big 10-pound, 8-ounce bass, you know, about 3 weeks ago. I caught it on this buzzbait here, and that was a pretty cool deal, but I haven't really caught much since. I caught one other 7-pound bass on it. Well, so it's kind of iffy. Then on the musky jitterbug, you know, you see me throw this musky jitterbug. This is the old-time favorite that I was fishing Lake Jackson and Lake Ammonia in North Florida, say 20, 30 years ago. I caught some bass in the 10-pound class there, you know, years and years ago. This is an old-time plug. This is an old favorite, but it's been a real worker. Well, anyway, I went out with Gerry Brousseau a couple nights ago. We tried buzz baits, we tried everything else, but he had this live scope thing from Lowrance. It's kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like the Garmin Panoptics. It's a similar situation. And we got out there, and as it was getting dark, Gerry would take the trolling motor and he'd move it around about 10, 15 feet of water, and sure enough, we spotted bass. So we started throwing different things at him, and I said, well, I don't know what to throw, and so I started throwing this black spinnerbait, black and chartreuse spinnerbait that Barry Maynor had given me from Tennessee, and I throw it right to where we see a fish on the depth finder, you know, where we saw the live scope image. And bam, the first couple fish we threw to, bam, I caught one about 4 or 5 pounds on this thing. I said, wow, hey, that really worked good. And then a few minutes later, I caught another one. We missed a couple, and Gerry missed a couple. And then it got real dark, and then again, we caught a third or fourth fish by looking at the Panoptics. Then I even threw it into the lily pads and caught another 4 or 5 pound bass. So the point was, this was the only lure that seemed to work. I mean, we tried all these other lures that I just showed you, but in that lake, up near Lake Placid, it wasn't Lake Placid, it was a lake similar. The only thing that we could get them to bite was this half-ounce spinnerbait with a number 5 Hildebrand blade. Now, there's a lot I don't know about night fishing. I'm just kind of learning. I mean, there's the whole jigger pole thing that I've been talking about. I haven't really got into that yet. There's all sorts of other lures to use. There's worms and there's jigs and there's, I don't know, we're still experimenting. But this summer, I'm going to make it a special thing about trying to fish all these lakes around Naples, around Lake Okeechobee, around the headwaters area, around Lake Placid. I'm making a real effort to figure out the night fishing scene. Well, anyway, that was 2 or 3 nights ago. Then what happened? 2 evenings ago, 2 afternoons ago, I just want to show you something really cool. Look at this real quick. I'm going to show you this little thing on the computer. I shot this with my iPhone. Come in kind of close and just kind of frame that whole thing, and I'm going to start it. Frame it like this. Back up a little bit, or come in close. Okay. I'm going to start this out. I'm going to take this microphone right here, and I'm going to see if I can't get a good sound. Okay, now I'm going to start this real quick, and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to start it right now. I can't start it. What happened? There. Hey folks, what's happening, Roland? Well, it's a little bit early, but it's not quite Friday. But I'm going to tell you something. I just caught one of the biggest bass of my life. I got to show you this bass. Now, just hold on, folks. Now, how big is a big bass? Just how big in your mind? I caught some 10-pounders last week. Okay, 10-pounders. Hey, how big is 12.7? We just waited on this major league scale, it was 12.7. I want to just show you this bass. Now just I'm going to show you this bass. I'm going to just show you this bass. This is the biggest bass I've seen in an awful long time. Look at this guy.
Wow, what a bass.
Look at this guy. Look at that bass. Look at that bass. 12.7, folks. That is a monster bass. This is the Headwaters Special. He's never been hooked before. No hook marks in him. He hit a chatterbait right at the boat, right at the rod tip. I had 50-pound braid, a chatterbait, a Zaco on the thing, and that's what's almost a 13-pound bass. It's close to 13 pounds.
Wow.
12.7 on the scale. And guess what, folks? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something really cool. This is what fishing is all about, right? This is what catch and release is all about, okay? Hey, be a sportsman. One of the biggest fish of my life. Be a sportsman. Watch this. Let him go. Good now. Get him go.
There he goes.
He goes. Folks, that's a testimony of good fishing.
That was something, wasn't it, folks? Hey, that was something else.
Hey,
Let me shut this down.
Well, it's a little bit early.
Let me shut this off.
It's not quite Friday, but I'm going to
Let me shut that off. Hey, wasn't that something? That was really amazing. That was one of the. See, other big bass that I've caught, like in Mexico, that I said were 14 pounds. We didn't have the good scale. We didn't have that big major league scale that's so good. That major league scale is what they're all using now, and that's what I'm using. It's deadly accurate. The scales that I weighed a couple 14-pound bass down in Mexico, I'm not sure how accurate they are. And I'm not sure how accurate the deal was. I said, well, I caught a 14-pound bass in Florida years ago, and all I had was a way to measure it. I took the length of it on a piece of rope, and I took the girth of it on a piece of rope, and we computed it on a formula, and that's only 10% accurate. So that 14-pounder there might not have been 14 pounds. So the bass 2 nights ago might have been the biggest bass I've ever caught. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it was real accurate. That's exactly what it weighed. The other bass that I said I've caught, over the years might not have been even that big. So I don't know. I just know now I have a way of weighing them that's deadly accurate. So that was the point. It was one of the biggest bass I've ever caught. I'll tell you what I caught it on. I caught it on a white chatterbait. I don't have a white chatterbait out. Let's see what I got. I don't have my white chatterbait. It was so cool. It was getting kind of dark, and I had a guide party, Jeff Dora. I'd fished with him a couple times before. Anyway, Jeff said, well, I'll fish as late as you want. I'll fish till dark. I'll say, okay, I'll fish till dark too, but it wasn't quite dark. But lightning started hitting over on the horizon. I said, Jeff, man, my grandfather was killed by lightning. I have a deadly phobia against lightning. So let's not go with the lightning deal. We got to get out of here. So just about the time I said, I started to reach down for the trolling motor, and I still made like one more cast, and I'm just kind of looking around, and the chatterbait, the half-ounce chatterbait, got that far from the rod tip, and that 12.7 bass ate it at the rod tip. Hey, folks, that was amazing. That was a big explosion. A 12.7, one of the biggest, if not the biggest bass I've ever caught in my life, hit right at the rod tip. Luckily, I had a good favorite rod. I had a good Solace favorite reel. I had 50-pound braid, and I just adjusted the drag just right. I got in the drag so it was slipping good. And he went zooming off under the boat, and he was around this way, and he was just down the hydro. I caught him. Anyway, it was a big deal. And it was really exciting. But I think one of the most exciting things is that now that I filmed it, I caught it and I released it to be caught again another day. Now there at the headwaters, you can keep a fish. I could have kept that fish. But in today's world, hey, we do replica mounts. We got the pictures, we got all the photographs now, and I didn't get the actual length and girth, but we can approximate that, and we can come up with a great replica mount, which I'm going to have, and I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, the next time I go out there,
I know that exact clump of hydrilla he hit on, and I'll be fishing for him again. And there's a good possibility if he stays in that area. It's a nice little spot he's got, a little end of canal, and there's a little hydrilla spot in about 5 feet of water. He might give me 13 or 14 pounds when I catch him next year. So anyway, that's the beauty of catch and release. But I've had some really great days. I've been guiding out there in some of the headwater areas, and like today, or actually yesterday, I actually had a couple from Houston, Texas, and we caught like 10 bass from 4 to about 6 pounds. But the whole time we were fishing all around. We just caught the 12-pounder the day before, and we were on pins and needles, and that expectation, thinking that that big fish might hit, or his sister or brother might just hit. And we did catch a couple 5-pound fish right around the area. So it was a lot of fun. And any time that you go out and fish here in South Florida, and you think you're going to catch a trophy bass like that, that expectation is so great that you're really enjoying yourself. I mean, you're making every cast count, and you're thinking about, oh man, that's the one he's going to bite, and that's what fishing's all about. I mean, just that expectation of thinking about it. But anyway, that was just a fantastic week and a fantastic month. I've hit 3 bass now, the month of June, over 10 pounds. That's a pretty good solution, pretty good way of catching some big bass. And the best hadn't come yet. We haven't figured out the night fishing. We're going to figure that out. So listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm just tickled to death that you're interested in what I have to say, because I'm an old school teacher. I can teach you a few things, and that's what I want to try to do. Pass it on. Okay, folks, we'll see you again soon.